Good morning, everybody. Guys, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning here. I just woke up. My son woke up in the middle of the night, ran in there, and I opened up my phone to check the news, and it looks like the speculation is confirmed. So tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, February 22nd, which is 2 days from now, you have 2 days to basically catch up on sleep, hug your family, kiss your family, because if you're going for this champion, you're not seeing your family. It's one or the other, right? You're going for the champion, not seeing your family, or seeing your family, keeping your sanity, being a happy human being, and not going for this champion. So what's going to happen is on February 22nd, we're going to launch a champion training tournament where you can get the champion, our Nergigante Archer, or her 6-star Perfect Soul. That's pretty crazy. Here are the main points. You'll get the Archer for finishing first in your group leaderboard only if you do not already have this champion in your collection. That's me. If you already have her, you'll get another reward. The Archer 6-star Perfect Soul for finishing first in your group. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're somebody with the Archer, you will not be matched with people without the Archer, as far as I'm aware, but I can't guarantee that. I hope how it is people with the Archer get matched with people with the Archer, and people without the Archer get matched with people without the Archer. The reason why I say that is because you're probably willing to spend more points for the champion versus the 6-star Soul. Now, that may not be true because 6-star Souls are worth kind of like a +4 empowerment, and that very well may be worth it for somebody to actually go for this champion. So either way, I'd prefer it to be separate groups, but it really, I guess, doesn't ultimately matter. But at the very end, there will be a minimum points required for this particular tournament to receive the top reward. Now, I do not like this at all, honestly, because there are players. Basically, what this is doing, this is saying that, say that the champion soul, the champion or the soul is like 10,000 points. Well, there's going to be some free-to-play players who get in brackets that are extremely lucky that don't even hit that 10,000 point number. That's okay. I think those players should deserve that. They get that. They have that. And just be happy about it, right? There are going to be so many players, going for 300,000 points, 400,000 points, 500,000 points and above, that you're going to balance out on this and you're going to make money off of this flat out. You don't have to tell players, I don't think, that they have to have a minimum number of points. Now, if it's a low minimum number like 5,000 or something, that's fine. Even 10,000 is probably fine. But if it's a high number like 50,000, that's not cool. Like, that's just really not cool, to be honest, because that just locks people out from getting lucky. And it's just fun stuff when you get lucky, right? That's like so exciting. That's like hitting the lottery. Now let's take a look at this champion, and then I'm going to give you guys some basically tips that I'm going to have to implement when going for this champion. Some things to talk about, because I've gone for Krisk. I got Krisk. I went for UDK. I went for various Tatsu. I went for various different champions. And then I went for Sir Nick a long time ago, and this is where this all started from. I went for Sir Nick. I came up short at the very end. And I basically vowed to myself from that day on that I was going to try to win these champion training tournaments in whatever way I can. And to be honest, that may have been an unfortunate vow because I don't really like them that much anymore. Like, you got to spend a ton of time at the computer. A lot of time at the computer, a lot of time spent on raid. And that, to be honest, I don't know if it's actually worth it. But either way, let's go check out the Archer. Where is she at? She is a orc? No, she's a barbarian. I don't even know where she is. Here we go. The Archer. So her A1 places the increased accuracy buff on this champion for 2 turns. Her A2 is an AoE, chains placing stun for 1 turn. If the target's a boss, it places sleep or decreased speed instead. That's an incredible debuff for Hydra. Also, decreases turn meter, irrelevant for Hydra. Fills his champion's turn meter, fills the turn meter of all allies by 10% if a decreased speed debuff is placed by the skill instead. So we're getting a turn meter boost on all allies, 4 turn, 3 turn cooldown. Hydra, amazing champion for it. Her A3 attacks all enemies, places a Hex for 2 turns and a Provoke. It's a Hex and a Provoke champion in one. That is so incredibly good. If the target is a boss, places a Hex debuff for 3 turns and a Provoke debuff for 2 turns instead. This is an AoE 3-turn cooldown, guys. This is incredible. And then her passive heals all allies by 10% of their max HP when attacking enemies under a Hex debuff. If there are multiple champions on the same team with this skill, only one will activate. Increases his champion's defense by 5% each time this champion receives a hit from an enemy under Hex debuff. Stacks up to 30%. Defense-based champion as well. So she's defense-based, going to be surviving amazing, going to be healing all allies by 10% of the max HP when attacking enemies under Hex. It's just crazy stuff, guys. Her kit is mind-blowingly good. It has no reason to be this good, except for the fact that Plarium's trying to milk us from basically all of our sanity, all of our money, and everything we love, basically. Either way, this champion's awesome. I love to see that they add it in the champion training tournament in a way. One hand I love it, one hand I hate it. So first up, whenever these champions were released, I believe she was only available from shards. But apparently it's a dynamic event, so it can change as they've changed their income, I guess. I don't like that. I really don't. I wish they would have just said in-game events or shards and basically just left it up to speculation. I think a lot of players kind of assumed this was going to happen anyways because this is like the prize champion. This is the best champion. This is, I believe, the only champion not earnable from free methods for everybody. And they knew this was going to be just the flat-out best one. And it is. Everybody's going to be going for this and very hard, most likely. I honestly think this is going to be bigger than the Krisk tournament because she does some things that are insane. Okay, she's an amazing S-tier Hydra champion. But not only that, she's limited. So if you don't get her now and you haven't gotten her yet, you're never going to get her. Limited champion, insanely good. This has Whale Fest written all over it. Now, you can get it if you're free to play. Let me share with you guys the steps I'm going to take that's maybe free to play, low spin friendly, and maybe not. I'm not going to differentiate them, but you guys can tell the difference on your account. So first thing, champions. You're going to need champions, okay? Champions, specifically ancient shards, are going to be probably one of the most valuable resources in your account, possibly even more than energy, because you can go in here and use your brews. I'm probably going to expect to use every single brew I have, which is not very much, unfortunately. Compared to players who have a lot, I don't have very much. There's players with 2,000 and 3,000 brews. So I'm going to have to go with the champions I have in my inbox and hope that they have enough power to get me through this. To be honest, I'm not in a great spot. If I get matched with somebody who's extremely whaley and is better prepared than me, they can win pretty easily. I had a sausage pancake hot dog this morning. I'm trying to make sure I don't have no syrup in my beard. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully I'm good. Either way, I'm not amazingly prepared. But champions are going to be your most valuable resource because energy, you can spend that. Like you can dump that into champions, but eventually you're going to run out of champions. Eventually you're going to run out of high-star champions, and the time difference it takes to level 1 stars up versus 3-star champions is pretty big. So not only that, but you're also getting a lot more points for your energy when you go with 3-star champions than if you do the 1 stars. You're gonna have to do 1 stars eventually. You're gonna have to come in here and pop a ton of mystery shards. So make sure, hopefully you have a bunch of mystery shards, but mystery shards are eventually gonna be what you're opening a ton of. But until then, if you have any ancients, you're gonna wanna open them most likely today, to be honest, because we have the extra legendary. I'm probably gonna have to figure out what my budget for this event's gonna be. I might have to expect to spend. I'm not saying I should do that because I am a content creator, so it is. Remember, when you watch content creators do videos like this, it's a tax write-off for them and it's content. It literally makes more sense to almost go for these events as far as money-wise than it does to not go for them, okay? So remember this. When you're watching content creators or anybody going for these events, they're not spending money on these events. They're making money from these events, if that makes sense. So the incentive to purchase shards is much, much higher because you're getting the tax write-off, you're getting the income, you're getting the content, you're getting more content because you're going for these events. So remember all that stuff when you're seeing these videos and you're getting enticed to pull. Also remember that luck can be horrible very, very easily. So you could very easily go in here and purchase stuff and just have terrible luck, which might be what's happening. So this is like 250 bucks and it's got 100, I think, and 57 shards or something, a decent amount of gems and everything. But you're going to need ancients. You're going to need gems. So with gems, I would not instantly convert those to energy. Like I've mentioned, you're going to need champions to level with your brews or with your energy. You're really going to need those. So you may even find getting ancient shards with the gems is more valuable than getting energy. Something to keep in mind there. Next I want to talk about is general preparedness, but this is kind of irrelevant now. So my situation, let's see what I have going on. So let's go ahead and hide. We will look at everything that I have and we come down to the rows with just the 6-star champions level 1. So we have, let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows. So 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 13 times 9. I don't got enough fingers to do that little trick where you divide by 9 and get the number. So 13 times 9 is 117. I have 117 6-star level 1 champions. This is essentially from champion training over time that I've gotten these champions. Each one of these champions I can take to level 30 and get quite a bit of points from. So this stuff is what you should be doing in the future, but not with 6-star champions. That's a little bit more difficult. I'm probably going to have to feed some 6-star champions, but I also want to hear from you guys. What champions do you want to see taken to 6-star and actually playtest it? Because I have a lot of champions that I'm going to be ranking up. And a lot of those are probably just going to have to be fed, which is something I've never done before. But I mean, some of these 6-stars who I have, like the Gimbos, I don't need more Gimbos at 6-star. I'm going to have to level these champions up and then just feed them off, which feels super weird, but I'm going to need the space and I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more organization in just a minute. But I have all that and then I have some 5-stars. So for you, if you are looking at this and thinking, dang, I wish I would have prepared better. Well, in the future, start doing solo dungeon content so you're always leveling something as you're playing the game. Always be leveling. So when you're doing Dragon, have a solo or duo champion. When you're doing Spider, when you're doing Ice Golem, all that stuff, have a solo or duo champion. Even Sand Devil if you want to do that. I personally don't do Sand Devil, but everything else I do. So duo or solo whenever you can. This is something I've talked about on my channel for a very long time now. But it makes a huge difference when you're actually saving for these champion training events. Now, as far as 5-star champions go, I should have a lot of those as well. I should have more 5-stars than I do 6-stars at 1-star. Okay, so yeah, I have a decent amount. And I have a lot of 4-stars as well, which is something I'm basically just looking at these champions like, okay, these are just free food containers. I just drop some brews into these, boom, squeeze out a bunch of points. I plan to do a lot of points very quick in this event, which is something else I want to talk about. I honestly don't have this video perfectly planned out, so sorry if I'm all over the place, but if you want to be all over the place, scroll down, hit the like, comment on the video, and subscribe because I do plan on streaming when this event goes live. With that said, when it goes live, I'm not going to be going slow. One time I planned on sniping. Sniping is fine if you are okay with having to check very closely all the time and you're okay with possibly being, well, out-sniped at the end. I am a far bigger fan of pushing up early so that you can get the distance. So kind of like the high ground. If you're 50,000 points and you're looking down, the next person's 20,000, well, you got a 30,000 point gap, okay? Now they could fill that in the matter of minutes, but you could eventually start expanding that gap. So if you see them pushing up 20,000 points, well, now you push up 30. It's way more, like, I guess, calm to do that. And the peace of mind is way better, which is not safe at all. You can definitely be sniped, but being that high up versus being at the bottom and at 20,000 points, planning on how you can snipe 30,000 gap, all of a sudden they expand it to 40,000 gap, and now you're thinking, dang, I don't know if I can actually do this. I thought that they wasted all their resources. So that is something to be very, very careful of. You really do not want, in my opinion, to be at the bottom waiting to snipe. You can use your legendary tomes, you can use your epic tomes, so all this stuff is a way to quickly get some points. I have a pretty low stockpile compared to players who are actually able to snipe big gaps with these points, and that's where a lot of it's going to come from, fortunately or unfortunately, but it's just the truth of it. So a lot of points are going to be coming from the very end, picking up those legendary skill tomes, so on and so forth. So that's another thing, I guess, is future events, try to pick up legendary tomes whenever you can, because they're going to be very valuable in these events, assuming those give you points, which they have all the time here as of recent. Dungeon Diver, 7,000 points, probably not going to get that, but I mean, if you're going for these events, maybe you could. Now, the next thing I want to mention is the Forge Pass, which is currently off. Unfortunately, I would much rather it be on so I could get more points, but it's the Raid Pass. Now, the Raid Pass is not available on desktop, but this is something that you're basically going to need. So the Raid Pass, let's go over here and check it out real quick. Raid Pass, Raid Shadow Legends. So the Raid Pass, the Raid card is right here. The raid card does is it gives you 20% extra XP and 20% extra silver. You're going to be doing a ton of campaign. I hate campaign, but I'm going to be doing a ton of campaign. Speaking of, I'm going to be using my Ray to do Nightmare if I do it, but you can also use Eric's. I did a video on Eric's a few days ago. This Eric's build right here is the exact same one that I did that video with. I'm not even going to, actually I can do a run or two. So you want to save your energy. You want to prepare stuff. But this right here, this Eric's can go through it just solo. It's not going to be the fastest run in the world, but it's going to be solo. So you could do this if your Eric's is built similarly to how mine was in that video. It's about a 15-second run. Nightmare is going to be a very good place for you to go. It's going to be great for the energy in general. I think it takes one run on Nightmare 12.6 if you use the raid card to get your champions to 10. But without the raid card, I think it takes more than that. Though with the clan bonuses with the experience, I think it may actually be less. I don't know. So we got to 9. We need the raid card to get to 10. So right there, it's like, okay, if you're going to budget for this, budget for the raid card. The raid card is going to be extremely worth it. Now, I'm going to leave a link down below to BlueStacks. If you download BlueStacks, it's a mobile emulator, so you can get the raid card from there. But this is going to be what you need to actually compete in this very well. Next thing I want to talk about is freeing up champions. So what I mean by that is when you're going through this, the last thing you want to do is have to click unlock on everybody. So I'm going to move over some 5-star champion, actually no, some 5-star epics. And this may not apply to everybody because this is something that, if you're not feeding epic champions, it's not anything for you to worry about. But if you're feeding epic champions, you're going to have to come down here. We're going to do 5 stars. You really want to organize your stuff because if your stuff's not organized, it's going to be difficult. You want to plan what you're going to do before this starts. And you got 2 days, right? It's going to start the 22nd. So you got 2 days basically. It's going to start in the morning, which I plan on streaming, which is it Wednesday? Is that what? No, it's not. It's Thursday, right? 22nd is, Thursday. So not really excited for that. I hope it's kind of short, to be honest. I don't want it to be going until next week. Either way, come in here and unlock these champions. If you plan on using somebody for food, do this. Because if not, what you're going to have to do is whenever you're ready to feed somebody, every time you do this, you're going to have to, do this, and you have to click on them, unlock, click, unlock. Now, it's not the most biggest issue, but it is a problem. So if you're wanting to use somebody as food, come in here and unlock them. But if you plan on, using them to rank up, don't unlock them. It's pretty simple stuff, but it's better to think about it now when you're not in a rush than when you're in a rush. I plan to push extremely hard very early. With that said, I'm also putting myself up for easy snipes. So whenever I do these events, I typically just show my entire resources, my entire potential, everything. This time I'll probably do very similar, but I may try to hide some stuff. Next thing I want to mention real quick, and then I'll talk about kind of my approach, is energy. So energy, you're going to need it. This 3 hours and 47 minutes, wasn't going to get it, but it may be something worth considering. They're probably going to have mini mix packs at half price. This is an extremely high value. You're getting shards, you're getting energy, you're getting chickens, and you're getting brews. Brews are going to be a massive source of points. Chickens, energy, and shards are all going to give you a lot of points as well. So if they have mini mix packs half off, people who are spending money are going to buy those. Which this is something I want you guys to know. If you're a low spender, this event may be difficult. It's going to be difficult for you, right? If you're somebody going into this, free to play, low spend, and you're not prepared, you could very well be sniped from your bracket after spending a lot of resources. I want to tell you guys all the stuff that's going to be purchased so you can be very understanding before you go into this naive and thinking you're just going to snipe this champion no problem. Before you get started with that and you get disappointed, I want you guys to know what all is going to be happening. Now I'm saying all this and I could very easily be put in a bracket where somebody pushes me and I have a very difficult time actually winning. More than possible. I don't know if I'll even continue. If I'm pushed very hard, I don't know how I'm going to do. Maybe I continue, maybe not. But I'm going to have a budget. I'm going to have a specific amount I want to spend, and I recommend you guys do that as well because this event can very easily push you past that. And once you get wrapped up in the whole FOMO thing, fear of missing out, and you get into the event, and then you have the sunk cost fallacy, which is essentially saying that you've already invested so much resources, why turn back now? You're going to want to expand that budget very quickly. So your ideas of what your budget was quickly become very loose, and now all of a sudden you're going in and purchasing $300-$400 more on the month than you actually expected. So with that said, I do offer account takeovers. So for the next few days, I'm just kidding. I do offer account takeovers though. There will be a link down below if you're interested in taking one. But with that said, just be very careful because your budget could definitely be blown in these times. You're going to be spending stuff. You're going to be spending resources. If you're 100% free to play, great. If you're just sticking true to that, great. But if you're somebody who your budget sometimes gets a little bit flexible in times you really want it to, and player is really pushing you, this is going to be one of those times. I highly recommend you decide now what your budget's going to be, what you're willing to invest, what your time investment is going to be. Like, do you want to miss out on time with family? Do you have any big events coming up? Plan all that stuff out, guys, because if not, you're going to get stuck in the event. You're going to get extremely frustrated because you go in, you spend, say you have a budget of $1,000, which is a pretty crazy budget. It's not my budget, definitely not. But say you had a budget of $1,000, and now all of a sudden they went over that, which is absurd. Let's say you had a budget of $100, okay? This is probably more relatable to a lot of players out there. So you had a budget of $100. Well, now they put out a pack string like this, and your spending tier, it's say it's a $50 pack string, okay? Now you only have $50 left. So you buy this, $50, boom. The next few days, they put out an energy pack. You've been grinding a lot, you're low on energy. Energy's $50. Boom, you're done. And now the next day, the person behind you is catching up to you, and then they drop the mini mix packs half price. It's a really good deal. You're going to hear people like me saying it's a great deal for this event. You're going to hear other content creators saying it's a great deal. And now you go in there and you buy 2 of those. $50 there, gone. Because now your pack purchases, your range has gone up. So instead of getting the $3 mini mix packs or the $5 mini mix packs, you're seeing only the $25 ones. So you sat out with an original $100 budget, and I think my math has already taken you past that. But either way, you're very quickly going to pick up the deals in the beginning and then be kind of out of luck at the end when the more deals come out. Plarium's ruthless with their deals. Like there will be good deals during this event, probably more towards the end to get the players who are wanting to spend or really tight and wanting to beat the other player to do that. But remember, when you're pushing, the player you're going against has the access to the same packs that you do. So they very well may pick them up as well. So just something to keep in mind, guys. I really want you all to have the best chance at success with this event possible, but I also really want you to be very careful, because when you go in this, if you do this, especially with this champion, you are potentially going to be spending a lot of resources. Plan it all now. Get all your stuff together now. Know what you're going to do now. Know what you can go to now. And then when the event comes, if you want to invest all of it up front and then just basically sit back and coast, go for it. If you just want to invest a little bit and see how the other person's going, just trying to like weigh it out and then sit back. If you don't like it, then go for that as well. But I plan on going pretty hard, but only so hard. I'm going to do a budget. I don't think I'm going to say what it is, though, because I want to actually win. So I'm not going to give away all my resources this time. The Krisk tournament I did, maybe I do share my resources, but either way, I don't know what I'm going to do there. If you guys want to know a detailed approach, I'll probably do it at the end. I don't know if I will do it during, because before, that set me up to be sniped very easily. I got lucky and I was in a bracket that nobody was going to. But if I share everything, other than what can be seen on the screen, like my gems, my energy, some of my champions, if I share everything, then I'm going to be very easily sniped. So I'm going to probably prepare like a sheet or something, a Google sheet, prepare what champion I want to get a 6-star. I'm probably going to plan to 6-star mini champions. So that's going to be my plan going into this event. It's not for free-to-play players. Honestly, low-spin players. If you're someone like that, it's probably just a time to say, hey, I'm not going to do this event. Honestly, we have so much stuff going on Player right now, in Raid right now. It's actually insane. We have the Blade Master Titan event, just coming off of Fusion, constant shard events, all kinds of stuff going on. So sitting out from an event willingly is going to be so much better than sitting out an event forcefully because somebody's pushed up so much higher points than you and you just can't afford it, which is honestly why I like pushing up so many points so quick. If I push up to 50,000 points in the first hour or two, the people below me are going to think, yeah, I'm not even going to try for this. There's no reason whatsoever. That's super helpful in my opinion. I think that's like my job as a content creator is to put up a lot of points very quickly. So now I'm basically saying if anybody wants to compete with me, they can do it, but we're going to possibly go pretty far. But if you don't even have that many points, just don't even worry about it. So I feel as if this is the best approach I can make as a content creator to not make other people blow their resources trying to win if they just can't. Now, people can beat me without a doubt. Many people can beat me. I don't got that much resources. I'm not in that great of a spot, but I do want people who can't get to those numbers to know, hey, no reason to try, no reason to waste my resources. Let's just go ahead and sit out of it now. I prefer to do the burst because of that as well, versus wait to the end, let somebody spend their points, and then snipe them. Maybe you could get less points that way, or maybe you could get less points my way. I think the way that I'm talking about is better, because if not, you get into facing people with the whole FOMO stuff. You get into the sunk cost fallacy, and now all of a sudden people have saying they've spent $300 already, so they might as well spend an extra $300. Stick to your budget, guys. Stick to your budget. That's all I can say. Just be ready. Be ready if you go for this to be away from your computer for a while. And honestly, use RSL Helper as well. So getting champions from Ancients, getting energy, RSL Helper, unlocking your champions, setting a budget. That's going to be the suggestions I make. This video is a little bit longer than I expected it. Honestly, it's going to be a pretty wild ride for the next few days. I'm going to get off of here and do some account work that I'd already said I was going to do. And then I guess from Thursday on, I'm probably going to be pretty booked up with some champion training most likely. So we'll see how that goes. I do plan on streaming when it's released. I got to figure out how much I do want to share and don't want to share. You guys let me know how much you do and don't want me to share with this, because with the Krisk, I was basically 100% transparent. I didn't show my inbox, which I'll probably try not to show my inbox here as well, but it's just something to be mindful of. Also, I've done some Sharp Pull videos recently. I've done more than I like to do, honestly, but With this event, I'm probably going to go for the extra legendary. I got a feeling. So I'm going to write out my budget, figure out what I'm going to do there, and then probably go for the extra legendary. Just because I need the food champions. Like right now, I need the food champions. Extra legendary is very, very motivating to go for that as well. So I'll probably kind of have to go for this in a way. But you already see that I don't have any ancients. So my budget, sliced right there. But guys, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Best of luck to you going for your archer and your tournament group. Hopefully this video helps you out some. Decide one way or the other. But if nothing, it's probably fun to watch me either succeed or fail miserably and have Sir Nick 2.0. I kind of wish they had like a second place champion. Let's see who would be good second place champion. Barbarian. Let's see. Oh, who would be a good champion for second place? Slayer. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, like a second place Slayer. Nah, a second place like a decent epic, which no epic's decent. No epic's worthy of even being relatively close to a second place prize when you're going for the archer. It's worse than Sir Nick, actually. I think archers, I don't know. She's more valuable than Krisk for sure. I believe without a doubt. Krisk brings a lot of stuff. He's an amazing champion. But because she is limited, she is more valuable in my opinion. Because she's limited. You're never going to be able to get her again. People are going to go extremely hard for her. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun for those of you who are kind of insane. But here we go, guys. Good luck and love and appreciate all of you. I'll catch you in the next video.